Okay, you're joining me on just the start of a six-handed Texas Holdem No Limit game, and it's a pretty interesting table. It's a pretty action table, a lot of loose betting going on, a lot of aggression with continuation betting and representing hands, and lots of kind of bluffs and semi-bluffs going on. I mean, it really is quite an action table so far. There is a strategy that we're going to employ to kind of deal with this situation, which is very careful card selection and playing from position. So we're going to kind of tighten up, but we're still going to appear as though we're active because we do want some action on the table. When we do catch a hand, or we do have a nice hand, so it's a pretty interesting table. So let's see what happens. And I'll talk you through if we do get any interesting situations with regard to strategy. Obviously, I'm ahead on this. Hopefully, I'm ahead. I don't think anyone's got a 6, so I'm kind of representing that maybe I've got ace high there, but didn't get any value for the hand. But never mind. We're going to obviously hands that, generally speaking, that have a negative EV, negative expected value. And if you look on www.mypokercoach.co.uk, you'll find a chart on there. If you look through the different sections, if you look at Learn Poker Odds, you'll find a section on positive EV hands, particularly for six-handed no limit poker, which you might kind of find useful just pre-flop to think about the kind of discipline of hands that you should and shouldn't be playing. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to get involved in some pots, particularly where I think there are 3 or 4 way pots with crazy hands, as I just did with, I think it was 5 and 2 suited, where I think there's going to be a number of callers around the table, and where I think I might have an opportunity to catch a cheeky flop. Then I'm going to do that, because I do want to appear as though I'm an action player. It is quite important. If I'm just sitting there waiting for ace king, king king, pocket aces or pocket queens, or if I'm sitting there waiting for the monster hands, then it's going to become pretty apparent to these guys around the table. And when I do catch a hand, they're going to very quickly fold. So let's play tight, but let's appear as though we're an action player. I've got a tricky hand to play now, because so these guys are betting quite aggressively, and the chances of an overcard flopping with a pair of 10s are quite high. I'm kind of out of position, and whatever happens on the flop, I'm expecting some quite aggressive betting, so it's going to be a bit of judgment as to whether I continue or whether I let the hand go. We'll see how it unfolds. Now there's 2 overcards on the flop. There's no reason for me not to place a continuation bet, because I was the aggressor. And thankfully brought the pot down. I'm not going to play hands like Jack, Queen offsuit. No real value in doing that. I'm just going to fold it. I probably would have called it for one bet to be honest, if I had someone who limped in on the button, but not with a raise from anywhere around the table. Now I've got quite an interesting hand here that some people regard kind of overvalue Queen. I mean, it's a strong hand, and it's definitely a raising hand, and I will raise it. So I'll raise it. I've just had a raise on the button, which I think is probably ace queen. I'm going to raise it because I need to know where I am. If he has got king or ace, I need to know what's going on. Otherwise I could end up losing my stack. So if he comes over the top of me, then I'm going to be a little bit worried. The fact that he's called me suggests that he's got ace king, and if he's got ace king spades, then obviously he's going to be pushing quite hard. Possibly he might throw it all in, and he's going to have to throw it all in now, because that's what I'm going to do. Now, you might have thought I didn't extract quite as much value as I could from the hand, but I was pretty sure that he was playing ace king. I didn't want him to catch a straight. There was also a flush draw that was on the board. I didn't want him to catch that cheaply, and I thought there might have been an opportunity for him to call my all-in anyway, so I shoved it. So it's debatable as to whether I got the most value from that hand, but I'm happy to take the pot down. The size of the pot, I'm happy to do that. And the general strategy where you are facing aggressive players is, as I mentioned, to try and carefully select your cards. Now this is a good example. I mean, right in early position, king jack offsuit, in a kind of an aggressive game. You don't really want to be playing that kind of hand from early position. You'll get somebody raise the pot, and you get somebody re-raise the pot, and you'll end up having to throw them away anyway. If you do get tempted to call the raise and see the flop and you catch a king, then that could be a disaster, because someone's playing ace king or king queen, and you'll end up going broke to the hand. So don't play those kind of marginal hands. If it was suited, you'd probably be inclined to limp in or make some sort of raise. Now that's the classic example of what I've just said. Jack king, someone raised, someone's re-raised. Now what would I have to do? I'd have to throw it away, so I would have wasted my 3 or 4 euros playing that hand from early position. So just don't do it. Doesn't make any sense in the long run.